Okay, we'll start in about 1 minute, please. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'll call the meeting to order. Good afternoon and welcome to the November 13th, 2025 Regina Planning Commission meeting. 4 members of the Commission and City Admin are attending the meeting through video conferencing, and I'd like to remind them of the following. Please ensure that your video camera and microphone are turned off. I don't know if Dan heard that. If a member of the Commission wishes to speak, use the raised hand function to be placed into the speaking queue. And when speaking, remember to unmute your microphone and enable your video camera. Reports considered by the Commission today will be considered at City Council at its meeting scheduled for November 19th. The deadline to register as a delegation for the City Council meeting is noon on Monday, November 17th. First item of business is to approve the agenda. Could I have a motion to approve the agenda at the call of the chair with the following adjustments? To withdraw delegation RPC 25-35, Judith Versak, and add the list of registered delegations, communication RPC 25-35, from Judith again, communication from RPC 25-36, Jackie Schmidt. Well, Jackie's here. So it just says communication, but she's going to speak to us, right? Yeah, okay. I think I asked for a motion. Who wants to make that? Mr. Gassier, thank you. Any opposed? Carried. Now it's time to adopt the minutes of the last meeting on October 14th. Could I have a motion to approve those? Thank you, Mr. Sontag. And did anyone see any errors and omissions on those? Nothing to report. Any opposed? Carried. All right, let's start with our first delegation. This is RPC 25-31, zoning bylaw amendment. And our tour through the city today starts at 2571 Broad Street. Our delegation is RPC 25-40, Dan Torrey of West Oak Investments of Regina. Dan, pick any one of those 3 chairs. Not that one. No, just kidding, just kidding. Please introduce yourself for the record, the organization you're representing, if any, and what town or city you reside in. You'll have 5 minutes to address us, after which you'll have the opportunity to respond to any questions that the members of the Commission may have for you. Please go ahead.
I'm the President and CEO of West Oak Investments, and I'm here on behalf of West Oak Investments to seek a rezone of 2571 Broad Street. I live and reside in Regina. Currently, the zoning on 2571 Broad Street is an institutional zone. We are seeking it changed to a residential high-rise zone. The purpose of that would be to build from what's there to a 100-unit apartment building. 100 residential units would be 6-story wood frame construction, and currently you have a vacant institutional building. The 100 units on the corner of Broad and Broadway would be a mixture of bachelor units, 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms. The 3 bedrooms is unique because that is a more rare offering, and that would be complementary to the area. We have our parking on the plan is a 1-to-1 ratio. And for context, the city of Regina doesn't have parking requirements. So if this was approved, we wouldn't have to put any parking in there. You could have 0 stalls for the 100 units. Our plan is to have more stalls than units. We won't be able to finalize that design until we have the confirmed rezone, should we get that. But we would have more than a 1-to-1 ratio of parking. And for more context, we have a few apartment buildings downtown that have less than 1-to-1 ratio. Some is 1 to 0.67, and there's no issues with that. The building is across from Wascana Park. We've got residential on the north and the south. Our views will be of the legislative building and downtown. Should we be successful in getting this rezone, the 100 units would go towards the City of Regina's official community plan that targets 30% of new residential to infill. And this location, a prominent location, we would really like to enhance the community with a new development there. So with the city admin's support, hopefully Planning Commission and City Council, we would like the rezone to make this vision a reality. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Do any commission members have questions of the delegation? Mr. Sante, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and Mike, over here.
There we go.
Jeez, don't I stand out?
There you go.
Just, you alluded to it, but I just wanted a little more detail on, you talked about the 1, 2, and 3 bedroom. Did you do any kind of detail survey in the area? Because it just strikes me that, just like, as I said, you alluded to it, but it strikes me that there might be higher demand for 3-bedroom than most people would anticipate, I guess?
3-bedroom is a high demand. It's not the most efficient build, and that's why you'd see people kind of lean away from it. We are currently building 10 3-bedrooms just by the General Hospital, and those are under construction right now. We see a demand for it, but what the 3-bedrooms on this development is, so you take a 6-story building, and that's what it'll be. You'd have 1 floor, 2 floors, 3 floors. Well, our first 2 floors of this building are going to be townhouse style.
Okay.
So that's where the 3-bedroom is. So it'll be a unique design on that corner. So I don't know if that answers your question as far as.
It does. I'm curious though, can you give us the breakdown of what is the mix?
I don't have that. We don't have that finalized yet,
Okay.
but I do, and I'd be shooting straight from the hip to get that. But I'd probably be, with that design, 10 3-bedrooms.
Okay.
Probably, so if there's 100 units, 10% that, maybe another 10% bachelor, and then you're splitting the rest between the 1s and 2s.
Okay.
High level.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That's it.
Next is Ms. Wilson. Or Mr. Gassier, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, through you. Thank you for the brief overview. I think, generally speaking, it seems to me like a pretty reasonable spot. I will have some technical questions for administration, but I will just ask you in advance because we can't bring you back when you're there. Are you concerned with, first of all, I guess, will West Oak, is the plan for them for you to maintain ownership when it's operating, or just build it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. So, do you have any specific concerns about what the zoning is, are you okay with anything that allows?
Sorry, guys.
Wow, that was a David Lynch movie. Sorry, do you care what the zoning is, or as long as it allows for this development, is West Oak happy?
I guess, so my understanding is that the zoning we're requesting allows that. If there was other zonings that also allowed that, I don't think we'd have an issue.
It would be fine from your perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. That's all that I have. Thank you.
Mr. Adams, you're up.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Appreciate the overview. I know you're kind of still in conceptual phase right now. Just two really brief things. Would it be your likely expectation that these sort of access egress is on the Broadway side, not the Broad Street side? Is that likely?
Correct. So,
Correct, yeah.
and that reminds me, so the 1-to-1 parking ratio, the majority of those stalls are underground.
I see.
So,
Yeah.
you know, 80% plus of those stalls are going to be underground hidden.
Yes.
The access would be on Broadway.
Broadway,
There's
yeah.
also the alley to the north.
Yeah.
That would have, but the main access would be on Broadway.
Sure. And just really big picture, I mean, do you have just a general sense of your timing? Like when would the demolition kind of be targeted and then foundational work?
Yeah, so, well, my understanding, if we get through planning commission, we would go to city council next week. And the idea, if those are a go, we would start in the spring. Demolition could happen sooner if that made sense, but the build won't start till the spring. And if it makes sense to do those at the same time, then, but spring would be the target.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I don't see anyone else. Maybe I'll ask a couple of questions. When I hear underground parking, that makes me very happy. It's unbelievable to me that we live here and there's places that I've traveled to in South America where everything's underground and the weather's perfect all year. And here we have minus 40 and you got to park in an outside lot. I get it, it's expensive. Is it going to be underneath the building or part of it underneath the building?
Both.
Both.
Both, yeah. The site, the way it's laid out, the portion of it would be where the above ground parking is and portion would be under the building.
Well, good for you guys. Hopefully that's a trend that'll catch on.
Yeah.
More underground parking would be great, and then we can utilize the surface for more area to live on, so
Thank you.
fantastic. I don't have anything else, and I don't see anybody else with any questions, so I'll thank you for addressing us and ask you to please return to the gallery.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now consider this item, RPC 25-31, the zoning bylaw amendment for 2571 Broad Street. I'll ask Zoe Drimi to please introduce the report. Go ahead, Zoe.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members of Planning Commission. This item addresses an application to rezone 2571 Broad Street, the subject property, from I institutional to RH residential high-rise zone, and amend figure 10.f.1 in the zoning bylaw to designate the subject property as part of the primary intensification area, or PIA. City Council's approval is required on all zoning bylaw amendments. If approved, the RH zone and PIA designation will allow for residential development of 6 stories as of right. The intention of the PIA designation is to ensure that it is applied evenly as adjacent properties are currently designated PIA. The subject property is located within the Gladmar Park neighborhood, and is occupied with a vacant building which is intended to be demolished. Public notification was carried out in accordance with the City of Regina's public notice bylaw and is summarized in Appendix B. Considering these factors and the benefit to the community, administration's recommendation is for approval. Thank you, and we are available to answer any questions you may have.
Thanks, Zoe. Can I have someone on the team move the recommendation? Thank you, Councillor Adams. Would you like to speak to the report? Any questions from the commission members on the report? Mr. Gassier, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and through you, I'm worried about making administration mad at me. I'm curious, would this proposal as currently planned be permissible in an MH zone, like on land zoned MH instead of RH, for mixed high-rise instead of residential high-rise?
Oh, wrong button. There you go.
Yeah. Through the chair, the MH zone would potentially allow for a solely residential building, although it does require a discretionary use to assess whether or not the site and the context would be appropriate for it, because the primary intent really is for mixed use. So this wouldn't be a mixed use building, it would be solely residential. So if it were to be zoned as MH, it would require discretionary use to go along with this proposal.
And thank you. And discretionary use would be handled administratively, or it would have to come back through political channels?
Through the chair, it could be either. Usually when a discretionary use is paired with a rezoning, then we would just package them both together.
Right.
However, if it were after the fact, given that we didn't hear a lot of public feedback through this proposal, it would likely be handled administratively.
Okay. Thank you. So this isn't exactly a concern. It seems to me that the proposed lot would make sense for mixed use as well as for residential uses, and that with long-term, long-run thinking, mixed high-rise would make just as much sense as residential high-rise. And then if the owner decided to change it to a partially commercial use or sort of partially revenue competitive use, they wouldn't have to come back for another rezoning application. So it just seems to me that council might consider rezoning to mixed high-rise rather than residential high-rise to allow for more flexibility on that space moving forward. And I mean, I promise, Mr. Chair, I'm not trying to annoy my fellow commissioners, but it seems to me that if the city took this more broadly, it would allow for zoning to communicate not just what is available now, but where we would like to see certain kinds of development moving forward. That really is one of the opportunities that zoning allows in complement with the official community plan. So I'm not going to recommend that we use this as a case for slowing things down. I am fully in support of this development. I think it's a reasonable option in the right place and generally support it. I just also think that within sort of the capacity of the city, this would make sense as an opportunity to zone for more than what the applicant is recommending for right now, just so that in the long run, we don't need to come back and review it again. Thank you.
Ms. Dawson, did you have a comment on that? Please go ahead.
Thank you, and through you, the chair, and certainly understand the comments from the commissioner. The proposal is for strictly a residential application, and in light of that, we're trying to streamline the approval process from here on out, from the rezoning. We want to see that there's alignment with the primary intensification area, which is to allow for densification of our corridors, and certainly want to see applications go right through to a building permit. If it was mixed high-rise, we would again go through the discretionary use process, which is a public process, adding time and consultation on an application that's already been out in the public. And so moving to a permitted use is more in line with the application from the applicant. And I will just note that there are opportunities for commercial in the area. To the north is a mixed-use zone, and to the east there's plenty of commercial areas. So we don't see it as restricting opportunity for commercial in the area, and just really zoning for what the application is intended to do, and streamline that process for the applicant.
That's good context, and you're thinking, convenience store, that kind of thing, main floor of the building, in case you want to add that in, but I don't think that's part of your plan, just full residential, seeing as those opportunities are close by. So I think that's a good catch.
Yeah, good enough for me.
Because we seem to see the opposite here, haven't we? Where people want the ability to put in some retail on the main floor, and this is the first one we've seen with this much living space that isn't asking for any retail. So we need lots of homes, so thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think that'll work out. Okay, next on the list is Mr. Adams.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Appreciate the report, very well done. And just a note, I thought Councillor Gassier's comments were quite relevant and appreciated them, so thank you for that. My questions are really technical as well and not dramatic. And in fact, not related even specifically to this particular development, but more for my education. I just building on Mr. Torrey's initial remarks, I was a bit surprised that we could envision or potentially allow like 100-unit development with no parking considerations. Could you just elaborate just a little bit on that for me, just so I understand how that's going to play out in the future?
Ms. Dawson, you want to explain that one? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and thank you for the question. We've been having this discussion for, I guess, almost 2 years now about streamlining approvals for applications. And through part of some of our Housing Accelerator Fund initiatives, we eliminated parking requirements and moved them to more recommendations. And this is in alignment with some of the other movements going on across the country to expedite and help, move more housing into the market. And what we found is that really when development occurs, they want to be able to sell or rent the units, and they'll develop what is, the needs of their residents. And we really haven't seen many challenges as a result of this. We have committed to community that we will continue to monitor it and if needed, make adjustments. But as of today, we haven't found any need to adjust those changes that were made in January of 2024.
Right. So in theory, it's almost left to the developer to sort of determine that likely that many individuals wanting to purchase in that building would clearly want to be able to park, so it would be in their interests to likely build that into the conceptual plans, but not require it per se as a regulatory measure. But yeah.
And through you, Mr. Chair, it's based on many factors: the location within the neighborhood, the availability of transit, location next to commercial areas or places of work. So it really is dependent on the needs of the residents of that area.
Right. No, that's a fair answer. I appreciate it. Thank you. I think I'm reading your table correctly, but in theory, under RH zone, you could have a small daycare in the unit on the main floor or something like that if they so desired. I think you're saying that's a permissible use. 30 kids or less. Right.
Through the chair, yes, that is correct. And I will also note that we are giving further consideration to our zones, and in the new year, we will be bringing recommendations forward that recommend some tweaks. And one idea that we are considering, at least internally for now, is to expand that range of uses to potentially allow for more commercial uses, perhaps as a discretionary use within a like a mixed-use context within the residential zone. So we do see that opportunity potentially presenting itself into the long term. So there wouldn't be this sort of stark divide between mixed use and residential zones. There could be opportunity for other use to happen, just depending on how we land with that.
Oh, that's excellent. Thank you. Just one last thing. I know it's really based on individual proposals, but I just wanted to note that in the short time I've been on the commission, I have seen a lot of formerly institutionally zoned land reclassified, and I was just a little just a little wary that, I don't know whether we're kind of abandoning the institutional designation entirely, or just a little bit of fear that a lot of what was formerly institutionally based land is really being transferred to, other status. And I get a lot of the rationale behind those, but it's not like you couldn't still have institutional purposes or potentially proposals that come to the city and you would still use an institutional designation. Is that fair to say?
Thank you, and through the chair. Actually, the former use of the property is a good example, and they've moved to a commercial area. So we're able to see some flexibilities within our current zones to, allow for those institutional uses where they were more strictly only available in institutional zones before. The way we're moving with our zoning bylaw is to allow for a mix of uses within each of the zones so that there is that co-location opportunities for institutional, commercial, and some residential areas to allow for those complete build-out of neighborhoods.
So just as a basic example, I think that building used to be the Canadian Blood Services building, right? In the modern context, would you consider that a public service / institutional? Like if somebody wanted to rebuild a new blood services on that, would it be institutional, or would it be mixed use, or would it be commercial, or what would it, in theory, what would something like that be? Or an MRI clinic or something like that, would that be institutional?
We've accommodated those in our commercial zones
In commercial,
when they've
okay.
been redeveloped.
I get it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Mr. Sontag, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Just a very quick one. Just as an aside, I don't know if Commissioner Adams referring to Commissioner Gassner as a councillor is a promotion or a demotion. So
The pay's not that great, my friend. So I think it'd be a demotion.
My question, though, may even actually be for you, Mr. Chair. Just listening to Commissioner Gassner's discussion about the change, if that went to council, city council, and they determined that that was a good idea, does it have to come back here, or can that be dealt with at city council?
I don't know.
You don't have to have the answer right now, but I'm curious how that works.
I don't have any experience of making that change on the fly.
Okay.
At council from something that we've recommended.
Okay.
That's a very good question. We'll find out and
Just
get
curious.
back to you maybe before the end of the meeting. But maybe we can try and find out, send a
Good,
text
okay.
out.
That's fine.
I've not, do you have any experience, Ms. Bryden, of that ever happening?
Through the chair, just so I can clarify, if this committee makes a recommendation to council and council makes a change to that recommendation, I don't believe that comes back to this committee.
Okay.
Including the land use, the
Correct.
designation.
Okay.
I don't believe it would come back to this committee.
Thanks.
And I think we have Mr. Rashovich online. Can you put him on, please? Dan, can you hear us?
Through the chair?
Go ahead, Counselor.
Okay, hey, I missed the beginning part, and I heard the tail end part about parking. And so how many parking spots is this building gonna have?
Over 100 and, yeah, more than 1-to-1. So 100 suites, but more than 100 parking spots.
And 80% of that, did I catch that right? Was it 80% of it's underground?
Yes.
Okay, wow, that's awesome. Okay, I just caught the tail end, I wasn't sure. Anyways, that's just my question, how much parking? Wow. Okay, so 80% of the 100 spots, 80 parking, I guess 80 parking spots underground.
Yeah. Ish.
Okay, ish.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
No.
Okay. Yeah. For those of us that have given lots of blood there, do we get a discount when the thing is built? Okay. I'll pass this on to the mover. I don't see any other questions. Councillor Adams, would you like to close debate?
I'm happy to see that we're moving forward in densification, and I think it's really important for our city to, move in this direction. So thank you, and yeah, that's it.
Thank you, Councillor Adams. I'll ask the clerk to start the vote manually.
Through you, Mr. Chair. Councillor Radens,
In favor.
Councillor Rastovich,
In favor.
Commissioner Adams,
In favor?
Commissioner Aston,
In favor.
Commissioner Gasher,
In favor.
Commissioner Kell. In favor. Commissioner Sontag,
In favor?
and Commissioner Wilson.
In favor.
And you, Mr. Chair?
In favor.
With all members present voting in favor, this motion is carried.
Excellent, thank you. Moving right along, we know our next delegate has a 5 p.m. meeting, I think she told me. So RPC 25-32, Heritage Demolition at 2184 12th Avenue. I'd like to call upon Jackie Schmidt of Heritage Regina to come up and speak to us. Jackie, please introduce yourself for the record, the organization you're representing, what town you reside in. You'll have 5 minutes to address us, after which you'll have the opportunity to respond to any questions that we may have. Please go ahead when you're ready.
Hello, my name is Jackie Schmidt. I'm with Heritage Regina, and I live in Regina. So, Mr. Chair, councillors, and panel people, in response to the demolition application for the Credit Francier building at 2184 12th Avenue, Heritage Regina recognizes the challenges associated with maintaining aging heritage structures, particularly those impacted by the 2023 Gordon Block fire. However, we strongly encourage the city and property owner to pursue a stabilization and a facade bracing solution rather than full demolition. The Credit Francier building is a key architectural element within the Victoria Park Heritage Conservation District. Its Tyndall stone facade contributes significantly to the character, continuity, and pedestrian experience of 12th Avenue. At a time when the district has already suffered substantial loss, including the Novia Cafe and the Burns Hanley building, preserving this remaining facade is more important than ever to maintain the integrity of the streetscape and the collective memory of the area. Heritage best practices are clear. Conserve the heritage value of the historic place. Do not remove, replace, or substantially alter intact or repairable character-defining elements. Do not move or discard parts of a historic place if they are current at location in relationship to the streetscape are themselves character-defining elements. Conserve changes to the historic place over time and have become character-defining. Conserve heritage value by adopting an approach that starts with retention, repair, and stabilization rather than removal. Practice and, if necessary, stabilize a historic place until any subsequent intervention is undertaken. Where there is potential for disturbance or archaeological resources, there should be protected and preserved in place. And where disturbance is unavoidable, mitigation measures must be taken to limit the damage and loss of information. We also know that the saving the facade is both practical and proven. A powerful precedent exists in the case of St. Boniface Cathedral in Winnipeg, Manitoba. After 1908 building was devastated by fire, the front facade, portions of the side wall, and the entire sacristy were underpinned and retained. The cathedral still stands on its original site, and the stone ruins of the 1908 structure have been stabilized for decades without major alteration. The example shows with commitment and careful engineering, a damaged but significant structure can be safely preserved and meaningfully integrated into future use rather than erased. In the credit of the Credit Francier building, the street-facing Tyndallstone walls are precisely these character-defining elements. We therefore recommend that the 2 outer walls be carefully braced, retained until a long-term redevelopment plan can be implemented. This approach allows for safety and of site and stabilization while preserving an irreplaceable architectural feature for future integration into new construction. Importantly, the retaining the Credit Foncier building does not prevent the development of proposed park behind it. It may have some logistical challenges or minor inconveniences during construction, but it does not fundamentally limit or change the availability to create a successful public place. In fact, incorporating the historic facade has an edge or backdrop to the park could strengthen the sense of place and reinforce the heritage character of the Victoria Park Conservation District. Maintaining the facade would also demonstrate the city's commitment to the goals outlined in its own Victoria Park Conservation District bylaw, primarily to protect, enhance the district's heritage character and sense of place. One reason we fear this building may not be saved is that we're even having this debate, an outcome that runs counter to the Government of Canada's own standards and guidelines, the standards and guidelines for conservation of historic places, the Victoria Park Heritage Conservation District policies, and the professional recommendations sought by the City of Regina of Donald Luxon and Associates also clearly supports conservation, stabilization, and retention of character-defining elements. This is not a building that was simply left to decay.
About 30 seconds.
Sorry. Luxon and Associates have confirmed that this was not a poorly maintained structure. The fact for full demolition on the table at all is deeply concerning. Do you want to stop there?
Okay. Thank you very much. Ms. Schmidt, do we have questions for her? Mr. Sontag, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and thank you for the presentation. Hope I can be clear enough in asking this question. Are there other experiences that you've had in the city of Regina that would be similar to this, where demolition occurred, but some of the facade was maintained that and the end result was to the satisfaction of the heritage community?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so you understood the question. Okay. Good. Okay. Thank you.
The bank in the mall? The bank facade?
I,
Wouldn't that be one?
It's a subjective question, because I'm asking whether the end result was satisfactory to the would have been satisfactory to the heritage community.
So I think you're referring to the architectural detail that's in the mall?
Not really. It's a general question about whether there's any properties in the city of Regina that would have been similar to this, not in design, but similar to this project, where there would have been demolition, but some of the facade maintained.
I think what you're thinking of is like architectural elements that have been changed to a different place, and that is not in the conservation standards and guidelines. Yeah. And also the policies that the city administration has. Because you're moving them off-site. Yeah. And they have a different context. Even in front of City Hall, you have the architectural detail of another building set down in the stone, and it's used as a flower planter.
Okay, that answers my question. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Sontag. Anybody else? No questions? I'm happy that Manitoba has come up twice, my home province. Tyndall Stone is from Tyndall, Manitoba, and Saint-Boniface is the largest French-speaking community west of Montreal, so very nice. I guess, okay, Mr. Adams, see, if I yap long enough, someone will come up with a question. Please go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Jackie. I appreciate your presentation. Just to put it in context for me a little bit, again, it's a bit of an education. I'm not sure if you can answer this, but like in the big picture in the downtown heritage district, like just off the top of your head, would you happen to know how many pre-war buildings still exist, like of that era? Are there many on your inventory?
No, I don't think there are, and this is a substantial grouping of them, and the Victoria Park Conservation District is one of the only ones in Canada.
Yes, thank you.
And then also, can I say that Tyndall Stone comes from Garrison, Manitoba? And the name Tyndall Stone comes from the closest railway spur. Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Kell, you're up.
Through the chair, just to build on your question, I went to school in Halifax, and like half of the waterfront of Halifax actually did this. So they maintained every facade, and everything behind it is new. So it just like, what would downtown Halifax be without their waterfront? So it's also seeing the future of keeping it.
Can everybody hear her?
Oh,
I think your laptop might be blocking your
the speaker?
speaker.
Sorry.
Would you like to repeat that for
do
the
you want
rest?
me to?
Yeah, I think so.
It was just building on his comment on like well done trials of keeping the facade. And I went to school in Halifax, and pretty much 50% of the buildings on the waterfront had this done. So you'd walk past it, they would have braced the front and completely demoed the back of the building, so that they maintain the character of the area but allowed the properties to function in modern age.
That's good context. Seeing no further questions, Ms. Schmidt, I'll ask you to go back to the gallery, and thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
We have some communications on this same project. I need a motion to receive and file the following communications. There are 3 of them. RPC 25-41 from Vaughn Schofield from Western Limited. RPC 25-35 from Judith Verisuk of the RD Bid. And RPC 25-36, well, no, Jackie, we just heard yours, so I should have crossed that one out. I'm sorry. 2 communications, which are in your package. I will need a motion to receive and file those. Mr. Adams, I will also need a seconder. Ms. Wilson, thank you. I'll call the question. Are any opposed? Carried. Now it's time to move to administration. We'll now consider RPC 25-32, Heritage Demolition, 2184 12th Avenue, and I will ask Femi Adigeye to please introduce the report. Femi, go ahead.
Thank you. The City of Regina received a demolition application for the Credit Foncia building. The building is designated as part of the Victoria Park Heritage Conservation District. The building sustained damage during a fire in an adjacent building, and as a result has been vacant since 2023. The owners have cited ongoing concerns regarding vandalism, theft, and deterioration of the building, as well as their inability to afford full rehabilitation of the building for occupancy. The city commissioned an assessment of the building and found the structure to be generally sound, with work required to address masonry, roof drainage, and basement moisture. The work is estimated to cost approximately $350,000 with an ongoing annual contingency. This does not account for work needed to fully rehabilitate the building to bring it up to code or permit occupancy. The owners estimate this work to exceed $3 million. The guidelines of the Victoria Park Heritage Conservation District bylaw require a redevelopment plan to be submitted with any demolition application. While the owners have not determined final redevelopment at this time, they have provided an interim redevelopment plan created in conjunction with the Regina Downtown Business Improvement District that will incorporate the property into activation plans for the adjacent vacant land known as the Square. Although demolition of designated heritage buildings is never encouraged, administration's recommended option provides a balanced approach, addressing safety and redevelopment opportunities while ensuring future development of the site adheres to the Victoria Park Heritage Conservation District guidelines. We feel this approach balances the long-term policy objectives for downtown revitalization and the city's heritage conservation goals. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Adigeye, sorry.
Yeah.
Can I have someone move the recommendation, please? Councillor Adams, do you wish to speak on the report? let me turn your mic on first, sorry. There you go.
Okay, so I'd like to put forward an amendment, and it's just for the time frame, and just to find out if there's any implications to doing it, is instead of, I'd like to make an amendment to bring it forward for the December 3rd City Council meeting rather than the 19th. And that's only just because I feel like I need a little bit more time on this, because I did travel to Fredericton just a month ago, and they did a lot of work on heritage buildings, and I mean, if you've ever been there, it's a pretty amazing place. It's a lot of old structures, and they maintained a lot of the architecture in that space. And for the life of me, I cannot even remember the space that was flooded out, and they fixed it up and kept it like beautiful. And so I guess I just need a little bit more time to process the the heritage part of this and do a little bit more research around it. And I know that you're saying $332,000 to repair. So how is that cost then shared between owner and city? Are there possibilities for grants?
Yeah, thank you, and through the chair. Our heritage program does offer incentives and grants for both heritage designated properties and those that are on our inventory. We bring those forward to council for consideration and approval. And I think that answers that part of the question. The cost that is quoted for $350,000 is for conservation. That doesn't align with the estimate that the owners have received in terms of being able to have tenants with occupancy of the building, which is much higher. So conservation would conserve the heritage character of the property, but wouldn't necessarily mean that it would be able to be occupied.
Okay. Okay, I'm still going to make an amendment to bring it forward for December 3rd, please. Thank you.
Okay, the amendment's on the floor. That stops the discussion. We're going to have to
Well, I think,
No?
I'm not tabling it. I think we could still have the discussion, but, and so I would, whatever our discussion is, I mean, it's just going to come at December 3rd's meeting rather than next week's.
We don't have to vote. Yeah? Oh, great. So we can have a discussion.
Yes.
Super. All right. Who wants to go next? Mr. Sontag? Go ahead.
Thank you very much. I'll end with a question. I sometimes struggle with the clarity of heritage policy, period, and that might be on me more than anybody else. But having said that, it struck me, and I suspect other commissioners, I shouldn't assume that of all the properties, this one really surprised me to see it being with this recommendation. So I don't know what my question is. Can somebody help me understand why a property of this vintage kind of would be one that would come with a recommendation like this? So I guess I was just surprised to see the recommendation. I don't know if that was a question or not.
Ms. Dawson, please go ahead. And I don't know what the vintage of the building is. I don't remember seeing a number.
I think it's at 1901.
1912.
12?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the second oldest, I think, or something like
Through you,
that. Yeah.
through
Go
the
ahead.
chair. So the question is the recommendation, and I think it's, we've tried to articulate it in our report, is that there's a number of priorities and, certainly things that we need to consider when we are assessing applications. And heritage conservation certainly is something for consideration. But we also have our priority of downtown revitalization and, making sure that downtown's a great place to visit and live and work. And the struggle of a vacant building in downtown without activation is one of the primary reasons why the owners are putting this forward, is they're struggling with the property being vacant. The conservation of the building will not necessarily mean that the building will be occupied. The occupancy for the building would cost a lot more than a conservation. And so when looking at this application and reviewing the context of where it is sitting within our downtown, given that the adjacent building was demolished by a fire and another adjacent building has recently been approved for demolition, the context of this site has changed dramatically in the last 5 years. And the streetscape. And so we're just trying to balance the priorities and bring forward a recommendation that balances those priorities, not solely focusing on heritage conservation as the outcome.
Okay, thank you. I guess I'll just make the observation that demolition also doesn't, from the notes I see, don't in any way suggest that that's going to create a new building or anything right away either. So it may remain unoccupied, that space, for some time forward as well. Anyway, I had to frame it in a question because I just wanted to express what I sort of thought about it. Yeah. Anyway, that's it. Thank you.
Through you, the chair, I just have a curiosity about policies around the maintenance of heritage buildings in Regina. I think we saw with the Burns-Hanley building, like it was a case of neglect by the owner that caused it to be in a state that it couldn't be repaired. I'm curious, is it like right now, is the policy, is it more like it's voluntary for heritage owners to maintain? Has there been discussions about more of a proactive regulatory maintenance? My time on planning commission, this is the 3rd or 4th building, the heritage building that we've now recommended for demolition. And I'm curious, sometimes it does seem through the neglect that it isn't up to code, but has maintenance been done on the building regularly over the years to prevent that? I'm just curious if there's been any discussion about more of a proactive regulatory approach to helping us keep these buildings rather than them falling into neglect to the point they have to be torn down.
Yeah, and I understand the question, and thank you. Through the chair, I will state for this property itself, it was actively used until it was impacted by the fire of the adjacent building. There was water being poured into the site and the adjacent site for a number of days to try to get the fire extinguished in the adjacent property, and as a result of that, impacted the ability of this building to be occupied. So, I will state that this property itself wasn't a neglect. But in answer to your question, more generally, in the last number of years, the city has brought in to effect a maintenance policy and bylaw for heritage properties. And so our staff, Mr. Adegay and his colleagues, regularly inspect designated properties, and we'll work with property owners to ensure that they're maintained to a standard that they can be, occupied, and there are actions that we can take under that bylaw. So we've, enabled us to have the tools. That bylaw enabled us to have the tools to have a more of a proactive approach to maintenance.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. I love the Travelers building. With all the windows open and just blatantly the neglect that happened there, that was very visible to everybody that saw that building and followed that building. And it's good to hear that the city is at least, ramping up. Thank you.
Mr. Adams, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you, thank you for the report, administration. I just have a couple quick questions for you. One is, you make reference to the fact that normally you do require a redevelopment plan. They don't have a finalized complete one, but there's an interim plan, and there's a brief reference to a quote open space. Could you just elaborate on what the quote interim plan is, should it be demolished?
Yeah, thank you, and through the chair. So I will clarify that only those properties within the Victoria Park Heritage Designation District do require a redevelopment plan.
Okay.
In this, the bylaw is specific in that there could be an interim use proposed, and then working with the property owner within the district on, the eventual permanent structure. So for this one in particular, there is a plan to incorporate it into an already approved activation site on the adjacent properties. So the property that burned down, as well as the Burns Hanley site, which are adjacent to these properties, have approval for a temporary activation space, which was approved through various levels within administration, and I think approval for dollars from council, and it's called the Square. And so the Regina Downtown bid is actually moving forward with an application on that, and we look forward to seeing those sites activated and utilized until the eventual construction of a permanent building on those sites.
So, yeah, there's in theory this conceptual plan of the Square, that's the activation plan for the site. I mean, it's a kind of an open air public square is what you're kind of envisioning?
Yeah, there's
Right,
approved
yeah.
plans for it, and so, the space would be utilized for, food trucks and,
I see.
other concerts or other things that the bid is able to program it with.
Okay, that's good. So second question was, you may not be able to answer this, but I am assuming that the two buildings that were adjacent to the property are not the same property owner. They're different property owners. Is that, like, there isn't currently a plan to amalgamate the three building sites which are taxed and assessed separately. It's an independent owner, independent building. It has nothing to do with the two adjacent empty lots at this point.
Yeah, through you, Chair, that's correct. There's different owners for the different properties.
Three, okay, yeah. And just on I did just for the pure fun of it, just look at the tax assessment on the property, and I did note, I mean, it's not insubstantial, but it's not certainly nothing like, say, the building across the street, but it's just over $1 million is the taxable assessed value, and the building, for example, that did burn to the east going towards the towers is less than half of that. I'm assuming that's demolished, but if it were demolished, is the taxable assessment just on the land, does it drop quite a bit in theory? Like, I'm just asking in theory. I'm not asking you to compute it or whatever, but.
Through you, Mr. Chair, we do have the city assessor here that might be able to help me out with that question. Ms. Johnson.
Thank you. Through the chair, as vacant land, it is about $410,000 as vacant land.
Right. So it'd be less than 50%, yeah.
Correct.
And just out of curiosity, I don't think this does exist, but I know we did provide tax incentives on a per door basis to develop affordable housing. Have we ever considered tax abatements for developers to build like large commercial towers or buildings downtown? You made some reference to other monies they've been able to access, but could there ever be like a tax credit approach to help them to restore the building?
I think Mr. Adams wants to build a tower. Ms. Dawson, please go ahead.
Yeah, through you, Mr. Chair. We have a couple of programs that would apply. Well, first of all, we have the Heritage program, which does provide grants and incentives that I had spoke to them about. And then we also have the City Center incentive program.
Right.
Which, there's a couple of ways that we could help out property owners in the city center. yeah, so always happy to have those conversations about how to revitalize downtown, either through our housing, heritage, or city center programs.
Sure. But the scale of those programs, in your estimation, probably not substantial enough to change like the owner's view that, say, a $3 million full restoration, like could it even make a dent in a, well, it's 2.3 million from PCL is what they quoted, but just in the big picture, like, are you talking you could leverage 25,000 or 50,000, or could you lever substantial money to do a major project downtown?
Yeah, I might ask Mr. Gadegay if he would go over the Heritage Incentive Program in terms of the tax incentives that might be available.
Okay. Through the chair, we have heritage grants. We have a budget of $250,000.
Okay.
And the maximum amount a property owner could get is $50,000. And usually, nobody usually gets that $50,000 because there's a lot of applications. And yeah, and then we also have tax exemptions. Those go for a maximum of 10 years. And I think currently it says their annual tax is $17,500. So like, that's a rough estimate. 10 years will be like $175,000.
Right. Okay. No, that's felt very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah.
I think that certainly answers my questions, and I'll just say, just generally, I would have had a lot more comfort with this were there a more substantial development plan attached to it. But in absence of that, it's just a bit tricky because it's, even the language is pretty qualified, even in the recommendations, as practical and things like that. There's quite a few limitations to the recommendations even. So I'll just leave it at that, but thank you.
Councillor Adams.
Just so, what was that building used for? I think you mentioned lawyers' offices. Was it for commercial use? Was that what it was used for?
Through the chair, yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so then the capacity of that building then, so how many, spaces could be occupied in that building?
Through you, Mr. Chair, I suppose it would depend on how it's configured and how it was going to be utilized.
Right. Okay. So then in terms of the city giving incentives for heritage, it's not a lot in terms of looking at this building at 2.3 million. I'm just kind of thinking about it in my head. So do we know if they're looking at perhaps, selling it to someone who might want to fix it up at that expense? It's a really good question.
Thank you, through the chair. I will let commission know that we have had substantial conversations with the property owners. They're fully aware of our program and the availability of our tax incentives and our grants. They've looked at other options and they've determined that this is the option that they want to pursue, having explored all their other options.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Ms. Kell?
I think just general comments, I think we just need to think about like the president that we want to set.
Are you blocking your?
Oh, no.
Oh, it's hard to hear you. Can you sit up closer?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Hi. Hi. I think like general comment, we just as a board need to think about the president that we want to set, right? At what point in time is a heritage property valuable enough to keep? We have lost a few of them. The restructural report says that it's fine. I mean, there is holes in the roof that is letting water in and that should be fixed regardless if people are in it. Cost of construction in general is expensive. The idea of someone demoing the building and taking each piece of Tyndall stone off, like we're talking probably hundreds of thousands of dollars. Anyways, and so we're just saying that if the review team, whoever it is, likes a future development, then it's fine to demo a heritage building. Where if we don't like a proposed project, then it's not. And I just don't know that, like, that's almost where we're at with this project. I don't know that it's appropriate to demo it, regardless of what the future project is. At some point, we still want to maintain our heritage in Regina. And there's lots of other things in downtown Regina we can do to bring it up to people wanting to use it than demoing this building.
Thank you, Ms. Kell. We're going to go online and let's talk to Commissioner Aston. John, can you hear me?
I can.
Please go ahead.
Okay, thanks. Through the chair, I have a few questions here, comments here. So just to start with, I would wholeheartedly support an amendment to allow a little more time for council to consider this. This building's over 100 years old. I think it's fairly obvious it needs some good thought put to it. So a week or two is not really a difference here. The first question I have is, I think it was maybe answered, but the building was occupied until the date of the fire. Is that correct?
That's correct. I was on site when the fire was burning and they were removing tech and equipment from the building.
Okay, thank you. So my next question relates to the code improvements that were discussed in the report. Would it be wrong to say that the building could be repaired to the state it was at the date of the fire and not have to upgrade washrooms and accessibility and all the things that it says in the quote of the cost of improvements?
Through the chair, we have information from their professionals indicating that that's the quote that it would take to occupy. We haven't seen any building plans or anything like that, so that
the devil's in the, sorry, let me speak. Thanks for that answer. I think the devil's in the details there, and that's the stuff that we don't really know. Like, if one is repairing what was there, is that the same number as improving it to today's National Building Code? And I'm going to say I don't think it is, but I don't think we have those two numbers. So that's something that I would point to, and council may want to consider in their thoughts in the future. The next thing I'm going to ask is about the holding bylaw. Is this, I read it saying that this was not on the designated heritage list. It was on the sort of contemplated list. I forget the right name for that. Apologize, but could that be clarified for me?
This is the designated property because it's within the district.
Oh, so all of the properties are designated that are within that district.
That's
correct?
Yes.
Okay. So the justification that comes through from the proponent's documentation is that the buildings beside were knocked down, so you have to allow me to knock mine down. I find that rather discomforting, because you might as well not have a bylaw then, because we've got a few, or districts, sorry, because we've got a couple that were knocked down. Is there, like, is that a pretty slippery slope, and is administration concerned about that kind of a justification? Through the chair.
Through the chair, and like I had mentioned before, our report tried to balance priorities of the city, and looking at it fully from a heritage perspective. I understand the comments of the commission, but I also know that we have to balance that with downtown vibrancy and making sure that our downtown continues to evolve, and that's the balance that we tried to take in the report. And balancing other priorities of the city was also taken into consideration.
Okay, thanks for that. Through the chair, I read in the one report saying it suggested the consultant couldn't enter the building and to do an inspection on a one particular date, and yet the report was written. Can administration give any context to that? Because I found that one to be challenging. How would one write a report on the condition of the building without being able to enter it?
I'm going to see if Ms. Pfeiffer can join us online here and potentially answer that question. She is, yes, available. Thank you.
Thanks for the question. Through the chair, our understanding is that there was significant asbestos issues. So they were not given clearance, like the inspector wasn't given clearance to enter the building. So the inspection was done as a visual inspection of the outside of the building. As noted in the report, it's about the exterior structure. And so it was based on what they could kind of see from the doorways as far as what they could see as far as slabs are inside. And then most of it was based on the exterior walls of the building.
Okay, thank you for confirming that. The other comment that was a little disturbing to me in the report was that one of the comments was the building had been vandalized and therefore that sort of accelerated its path to demolition. Is that kind of an acceptable term as well, like a justification? I found that one quite troubling. Like we don't want vandalism for buildings, but that's usually not a justification to demolish something. Through the chair.
Through the chair, I don't think on its own it's a justification for demolition, and that's not how it was intended to come through in the report. I think we really need to take into consideration how we revitalize downtown and taking into consider all the factors that may be in the way, or how we can certainly improve vacant buildings and making sure that we have spaces that can be occupied. And through I know the reviews that the proponents have provided, it would take significant efforts to revitalize this building and occupy it. So it would continue to be vacant and likely be a target for vandalism.
Okay, thanks for those explanations. Certainly understand the perils of having an older vacant building and needing to do something with it to keep it up. So I wholeheartedly support giving a little bit more time for this to be considered. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Aston. Councillor Rashevich, can you hear us?
Sure can, through the chair.
Great, go ahead.
Do we have any other examples of heritage buildings being torn down and saving the facade? I guess like the heritage group, like when they presented saying, hey, we reinforced the exterior facade. Do we have an example of that? And do we have other examples of where the facade was taken apart, which is being, I guess, recommended here and then being put back together on the same location? Do we have examples of either of those?
I think the adjacent building is a good example. It was the Burns-Hanley building. Council did approve the demolition of that building, but required that the facade be removed and inventoried. And then there's conversation about rebuilding that when the eventual building gets rebuilt. There's some other examples. I think one of the ones I can think about is on College. I think Dark Hall had some of that as well.
Okay.
I think that through the chair, if I may, conservation of the facade, is possible. I know that it was addressed earlier today through one of the delegations. I think the trouble for this one is we don't know how long that would be and at what cost, and what that might look like exposed to the elements for a number of years. And so I know that there's some other great examples in other cities that certainly they have been able to do this and incorporate that into a new building. But at this point in time, we don't have a new building to talk about. And so, yeah, it was certainly something we talked about with the property owner and amongst ourselves. But at the end of the day, that's not the recommendation that we're proposing. And I think it's just a challenge to propose that, just given the time frame.
I guess the other thing I was wondering is, okay, I guess what's the cost to take down the facade and then store it, and then, or what's the cost to keep the facade in place and reinforce it? Yeah, I'm kind of wondering, because if it's just as expensive to take it apart and store it, then maybe keep the facade and reinforce it. I guess these are questions, it'd be nice to know, unless you have an answer for some of those, a question like that.
I don't have an answer for the exact cost of that, no.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe, Mr. Adegay, do you have that? Oh, Ms. Bryden does.
Thank you. Through the chair. The estimated cost for bracing the facade would be, and again, this is estimated at $250,000 to $300,000. And that doesn't include the demolition costs to remove the rest of the building or future maintenance and repair work. Typically, you would see this type of thing happen when you're seeing the redevelopment of a building within, say, 3 to 4 years. That we don't believe is the case for this area.
Okay, I guess obviously if we do a demolition and then the facade is, I guess, stored, where it sounds like there won't be any development there. Well, maybe beyond 4 years for sure, I guess we're saying, by the sounds of it.
Through the chair, I would say that's likely correct. It takes quite a certain amount of time, as you're aware, to redevelop a site as such. And I think that the interim development plan includes a lease of approximately 10 years with Regina Downtown bid to create that activation area. So that would indicate a longer term than 4 years, certainly.
Oh, okay. So there's a connection with the demolition to the activation with downtown with, I forget what it's called.
Through the chair, yes, the building owner has approached the Regina Downtown to expand their activation of their area that they're calling the square. If you'll recall, council approved that.
Yep. Yes.
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 Yeah.
Okay. So there's some connections now. Okay. I didn't realize that at first here. Okay. Okay. No, I agree with Councillor Radens. I definitely would like a little more time. I'm done.
Thanks, Dan. How far along are you?
Downtown Winnipeg, trying to find my Airbnb.
All right. Well, good luck. Hope we bring home another ring just like the one you're wearing.
I hear you, man.
See ya. Okay. We do have a Councillor Radens, go ahead.
I don't know if I could speak again, but I just have, Autumn, you mentioned something about vandalism, and so is there currently vandalism happening to that building?
That is what the owners have provided to us, yes.
Yeah.
And there's, ongoing security and concerns about break-ins and vandalism, yeah, of graffiti.
Okay, thank you.
Any further questions from the team? Seeing none, I'll pass it back to the mover. Councillor, would you like to close debate? Thank you.
Right.
Oh.
Okay, after traveling to Fredericton and seeing, they have done a lot of work on heritage and preserving their history, and it is absolutely a beautiful place to visit if you haven't. I was awed at the architecture out there, and so I think that my concern here is, revitalization, I fully support, and it is important for our city. However, I believe that there are many cities that have and have revitalized as well as restored heritage. And I think it's really important that we try to preserve some of our history within our city. That building, pre-World War I, I walk by it and I'm like, okay, so what are we doing with this building? But yet, it is the architecture, and it's beautiful. There's nothing else like it here. And I really believe that we can still revitalize and preserve. And so I think I do agree that perhaps there has been some neglect as well. And if we are going to abide by the bylaws in reference to, you know, how we preserve heritage, then, you know, then we have to put our money where our mouth is and follow that. And I'm just going to leave it at that, that I think we can still preserve, restore, and revitalize. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Just to be clear, we're asking our clerk, Tracy, to tell us what we're voting on.
Thank you. Through the chair, I think my question might come after the clerk clarifies what we're voting on.
Okay. So what Councillor Raddens put forward were the recommendations. Recommendation number 1, recommendation number 2, recommendation number 3, with a friendly amendment to approve the recommendations at its meeting on December the 3rd versus November the 19th. So that is what.
On what we're voting on?
Oh, through the chair, Ms. Dawson would like to.
Go ahead.
I did miss answering a question from Councillor Raddens at the beginning and the implications of the delay you had asked me. The property owners had indicated it was their desire to demolish the building this year. So I'm not certain they would support a delay, but I will leave that there because that is, you know, just something for the consideration that I wanted to provide in response to that question.
So just to be clear, we're voting on the full motion with the friendly amendment, not the amendment. Sorry. Okay. Just for clarification, we're voting on the whole motion plus the friendly amendment, not just the amendment, just to.
Correct.
Okay.
No further questions?
Clerk, can you start the vote, please?
Through you, Mr. Chair. Councillor, or Commissioner Adams.
Opposed.
Commissioner Aston.
Opposed.
Commissioner Gayser.
Opposed.
Commissioner Kell.
Opposed.
Commissioner Sontag.
Opposed.
Commissioner Wilson.
Opposed.
Councillor Rasevich.
Opposed.
Counselor Radens.
Opposed.
And you, Mr. Chair.
Let me say in favor, just to be different.
Okay, with all members voting again, or with a vote of 8 to 1, this motion is lost.
May I seek clarification?
Can we take a 5 minutes?
Okay, is it a fire drill?
Just to be clear, if the motion is lost as written, does this report proceed to council next week then?
Oh, that's a good question.
Through the chair, city solicitor.
Thank you, through the chair. So because the motion's been lost, there's a couple of different options. It will still go to council. It can go, as has occurred in the past, without a recommendation of the commission. The other alternative is that you could move something else. I think there is an option within the report itself to deny the demolition and order repair. However, that does require public notice, so it wouldn't come to council until, I think, in the new year, because I think the notice is actually 30 days. I'm not sure on the notice period, but it would potentially delay it going to council beyond December 3rd.
Otherwise, this was pointless. I think all I would say is the recommendation has to go to council. I mean, it was 8, otherwise this whole deliberation has been redundant. So council should understand the commission opposed at 8 to 1.
But I think it's the time. They wanted more time before.
So the first thing I said, and I think this happened within this term of planning commission, where a matter was voted down at the commission and it did proceed to council without a recommendation, essentially. So council did hear that the commission voted 8 to 1 or whatever the vote was against what was recommended, but then it's left fully to council's discretion to come up with their own thing or go back to what the administration had recommended.
Or to return to the commission.
Ask a question to just say, you did say we could deny the demolition and order repair, but that has to be done at council, correct?
Yeah, that has to be considered by council. There are specific notice requirements in the Heritage Property Act around repair orders that would have to be complied with. So it likely those notices would have to go out before the matter would go to council. I'm just not sure offhand what the timeline is for that. It likely means it goes to a meeting later than December 3rd, just to comply with the notice requirements.
Okay, so then in terms of it going to council, because I put in an amendment to delay it till the 3rd, so it's totally, the whole thing is
right. It does.
defeated.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, so
yeah,
it's still coming then next week. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All good? Next delegation? You need some time? Well, it's time for a mandatory break, I'm sorry. We'll be back here at 5 to 6. No, 10 to 6. Thank you. everybody back?
Yep, I'm back. Thanks.
Great. We have Ms. Ackerman here to give us a little more clarity on what we can do in terms of our options today on this particular item. Go ahead, Amber.
Thank you. So through you, Chair, it's my understanding, just because I'm walking in on this for background, that the committee had put forward concurrence for consideration and had voted with the majority against concurring in with the recommendation in the report. The recommendation in the report was indicating that administration was recommending that the commission approve demolition of the heritage property, and that the committee voted against that. So the committee has two choices now for two different motions that they could potentially put forward. One, they can put forward that they're recommending that the application to demolish be denied to City Council for consideration, or if the commission is not comfortable with making a decision on this matter to approve or deny today, they can move a referral motion that this matter be referred directly to the December 3rd City Council meeting for Council to make the decision on. So those are the two options that are available to the committee at this point on this matter in the meeting right now.
Any questions?
So the options are deny the demolition or a referral motion?
That's right, Dan.
Okay.
One second. Let me get you your mic.
It looks like option 2 said deny the demolition application and direct the property owner to undertake necessary repairs of other measures to rehabilitate the building. Is that the option? That was option 2 in here.
You got it. Stop. Let me do it.
Through you, Chair, yes, that is correct. That is the denial piece that I was speaking to. But as I had also indicated, there is technically a third option as well too, that if the commission is not comfortable making a decision to approve or deny, their other option is to refer this matter directly to the December 3rd City Council meeting as well. So right now, the committee has already voted on the recommendation, which was option number 1, and they voted against that. So now you have your other two options in front of you, which is to put forward the option to deny the application as was indicated under the option section in the report, or to put forward a referral motion.
One second, let me.
There's no third option where you could deny it, but with qualification that you could send it back to council saying we denied demolition, but recommend the following, i.e. more information, greater clarity on the estimates to repair, those kinds of things. Like there's, can you add qualifications, or is it the chair's responsibility just to convey that, the discussion?
Mr. Adams' question has to be referred to legal. Do you want that repeated? Mr. Adams, can you repeat your question?
I was just simply asking if the commission had the power to amend the opposed recommendation, i.e. option 2. You know, would it be possible to sort of give council some clarity as to, you know, maybe why there was an outright denial, but I think it probably maybe makes it too complex, maybe more than is necessary given the fairly wide consensus that occurred on the original recommendation. So I'm fine with it as is.
Yeah, we thought you wanted to go back to the applicant, but yeah, I'll have to explain why at the next meeting. Yeah. 1 second, I'll get you. Don't do it.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
On Austin said, it was more that there really wasn't clarity on the quotes as to, you know, was it an independent third-party quote? Was the quote to restore it to pre-fire? Was it a full restoration? Like there, you know, some of that information would have, you know, helped perhaps to temper the conversation. So I was just kind of building on that, but I'll leave it be. And I apologize for my vague question.
Thank you, Mr. Adams. Councillor Adams?
Okay, so I'm in favor of option number 2. I'm sorry, you folks that put all this work into it. But just because of some of the things that came up in terms of the report and lots of questions and, you know, the quotes and et cetera, et cetera. And so I'm in favor of denying the demolition application.
Okay, Councillor, that means you'd be wanting to put that out there as a motion.
Yes.
Okay, that motion is on the floor. Ladies and gentlemen? Gentlemen? Hello? Yep. Did you hear what I said? No? Okay. Councillor Radon's moved to put option 2 on the floor as an amendment. That's the new motion that's on the floor. Are we going to discuss before we vote? Does anyone wish to say anything on this motion? Do you want to go straight to vote? Everybody good with that? Okay, clerk, can you start the vote, please?
Maybe we should just read that.
That's right.
Yeah.
Through you, Mr. Chair. Councillor Radens?
So
Am I in favor? In favor of denying? Yes, thank you.
Councillor Rasevich?
Yes, I'm in favor of the referral motion.
No.
Okay,
No,
that's not what we're voting on.
That's not what, so, because I thought we had 2 options, demolish, denied, or referral motion.
Councillor Rasevich, the motion on the floor is to go with option 2, to deny the demolition. Is that what you want? Are you in favor of that? Or
Yes,
opposed?
I'm in favor. Yeah, I'm in favor.
Thank you. Councillor, or Commissioner Adams?
Sorry, I was just rereading the option 2. So we're actually taking a second vote on option 2 now is what we're proposing, right?
Yeah.
It's not a second vote on option 2, it's the first vote on option 2, I guess.
I see.
But a second vote tonight.
We're re-voting.
Yeah.
We're re-voting, okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just so everyone's clear, so it's basically, what will happen is, let's say we will send the appropriate option to council. So just so I'm clear, when we say direct the property owner to take unnecessary repairs, will council determine that, or will administration determine the scope of those repairs? Like, I was comfortable with denying demolition, but I'm not quite ready to say, we're imposing a multi-$100,000 burden on the owner in short order. I just want to be clear what we're saying here. So it'd be up to the $350,000 and, sorry, this is a complex one, so I just want to be clear on what I'm saying.
I agree with you.
Yeah, because I mean, we're basically saying, option 2, deny the demolition applications. That's fine, I can understand that and I can vote on that, but the additional option as it's presented by administration is also to direct the property owner to undertake necessary repairs and other measures to rehabilitate the building. So is that what we're really saying, or
I'll
is
have
that,
this.
sorry, Chair, maybe you can help clarify.
I can. Are you done asking?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. I'll have the solicitor answer your question.
Thank you, through the chair. So as I noted before, what would happen if the motion that's approved here is to recommend denial and that council consider repairs be ordered on the property? If when this matter gets to council, if they are supportive of repairs being ordered to be made by the property owner, the matter will have to be tabled and will not be able to be voted on at council until the public notice requirements set out in the Heritage Property Act are complied with. So they'll get the report on whatever the date is now, December 3rd. Okay. If they're in favor of ordering repair orders, they'll table the matter for the public notice. What those repairs are to be, I assume that will go back to administration to work on, and or council may just direct what they want at that time, but that's the process.
And from what I'm reading as well, the city could be obviously on the hook for a lot of these repairs too, right?
Sorry, no, through the chair, the owner is the responsible party for maintaining the repair of the building. So the order would be made to the owner to undertake the necessary repairs to ensure that the heritage property is not falling into disrepair and not about to topple over, essentially.
Okay, I'm just reading here. It says consideration, rehabilitation would require substantial financial investment from the property owner and likely the city.
Discussion on repair orders, so we won't see that.
You have a question, Dan?
Yeah, it just says here, rehabilitation would require substantial financial investment from the property owner and likely the city.
I'll let Deb answer that for you. Ms. Bryden, go ahead.
Thank you. Through the chair, if the wish was to direct the property owner to repair the building, they would be eligible for heritage grant. So they would be eligible for $50,000 under the heritage incentive policy, or potentially a tax incentive for up to 10 years. So I want to be clear. So the cost of an estimate of about $350,000 is simply to repair the building so it sits there and doesn't further deteriorate. It is still not occupiable. So in order to make that building occupiable, it would be an additional estimated, I think, is it $3 million is identified in the report.
Dan, finish your question?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Aston, can you hear us?
I can.
Go ahead, John.
The report does not have the context of insurance. Most properties that I've ever owned that have had an insured loss get insurance money to take you back to where you were. I think without that context in this report, we're struggling through what things cost and what the owner's costs will be and what the city's costs will be. And I think that's very important. So perhaps that maybe is more of a referral thing to flesh that out so that council would have that information. So I might suggest we refer this for that reason. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other questions from the team?
Through the chair,
Go ahead.
if we may, Ms. Dawson may be able to provide some insight into some of the comments from Mr. Aston.
Sure. Ms. Dawson?
Yeah, and thank you, through the chair. And so the comment was information regarding their insurance. And I will say that we have had substantial conversations with the property owner, and we understand what that looks like from them. And they have taken that into consideration in terms of their options moving forward. And they're still putting this forward as what they see as the only viable option for them at this point in time.
Any questions or comments after hearing that? Go ahead, Councillor Adams.
So is one of the options for the owner to sell the building? Would that be an option for them? I don't know if that was discussed. I'm sorry. I'm just asking.
Ms. Bryden?
Thank you. Through the chair, certainly the owner could try and sell the building and maybe has tried to sell the building. I would suggest it might be a very difficult sell if the estimate is approximately $3 million in order to refurbish a commercial property. I would say that is not overly large. I don't know exactly what the square footage would be, but I don't know what the business plan would take to recover that cost on a leasehold type of basis.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I turned your mic off. I thought you were
And I was
done.
just thinking that I'm wondering if we did a referral and to gather more information, because I feel like there could be some questions asked, but right now we have the deny for the demolition that's on the table right now, so I'll just leave it at that.
Ms. Ackerman would like to add some color to this.
Through you, Chair, Councillor Radins, you could still leave your motion that you have on the floor and add to it that you would like to request that additional information be provided at the December 3rd meeting as supplemental information. So.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Bryden.
Through the chair, I would just like to provide that the property owner will be attending council and will have that information to provide at council.
Okay. I still have other questions bouncing here, so you want me to ask that first? Councillor Radons?
Yes.
The motion that you have on the floor right now, which is not on the screen, are we going to put that on the screen? That'd be great. Sure.
Through you, Chair. So just for clarity for the minutes, Councillor Radins, so your main motion that you have on the floor based on the information that Ms. Bryden had provided, you're okay with that? You don't require any more additional information at this time then based on her comment?
No, I think that's fine,
Okay.
just the way it is. Thank you.
Mr. Adams, please go ahead.
I apologize. I'm comfortable with where we're at. I understand better now. The only other question, I know we don't really want to open this up for more questioning, but one that did occur to me is just, I recognize the non-independent private assessment, estimated 3 million. My question would be, what is the replacement cost of the building? Because my expectation would be if you were to build a 4-story commercial building in its place, and it's 7,000 square feet, by the way, it would be more than $3 million, a lot more. So I think part of what we're struggling with here is context, right? It's no future plan, a potential 10-year lease on an empty lot, no real understanding of what, how this really impacts the broader heritage policy side. It's a tricky one.
No, that's good context. Yeah. Anybody else? Any other questions? Online? Nobody?
Through the chair, may I confirm?
Just quickly.
Oh, 1 second. I didn't see your hand.
Sorry,
Anybody?
one question.
Go ahead.
Sorry. Just to clarify, my understanding is the lot is about 3,749 square feet, and the building area, leasable area, is about 7,900. So it sort of suggests it's 2 stories, roughly, of space.
Ms. Bryden, do you want to speak to that?
Through the chair, without seeing the building plan, I would suggest that that's correct.
That equates to somewhere around $375 a square foot for the $3 million number that was given, just to sort of respond to Commissioner Adams there.
I'll put your mic on first because nobody can hear you. Yeah. Mr. Adams, please go ahead.
Thanks, Commissioner Austin. I appreciate that. Just for clarity, the commissioners beside me just said it is a 3-story building, but that's kind of where I was going, was just trying to ballpark, you know, what it would cost to replace the building, right? And I think you understand why I was asking that question. So I'm not a developer, so I don't have a good sense, but I think it would be more than the $3 million quoted to replace a 7,000 square foot 3-story building.
That's what they're voting on right now.
You want the mic? Do you need the microphone? No? Okay, on the screens behind you and in front of you is the motion that we're going to be voting on. Ladies. Everybody good? The motion is in front of us. Are we ready to vote? Do we need to read it out for Dan? Dan, are you able to see the?
Yeah, I see it. I see it. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
do you have a question, Dan?
so basically, if we're in favor of this, it's coming to City Council, right?
Yes, with this recommendation.
Yeah.
One sec, he's got the floor. One sec. Dan, do you have any other questions?
No.
Thank you.
I was just saying, because if we approve this, then it's going to City Council. Yeah.
Correct. Are you done with your questions, Dan?
Yep.
Thank you. Mr. Gassier, you're next.
If I may recommend a friendly amendment, I would suggest that we make the denied demolition application part 1, starting at direct, make that point 2, direct the property owner, et cetera, make that point 2. And then for point 3, replace deny with make these recommendations, because 1 is to direct, we don't want to deny that.
You'll have to say that, please.
Thanks. Sorry, Ms. Solicitor. Thank you for your help. The chair.
No, that's all right. Through you, Mr. Chair. So just ensure when you're reading point 1 and 2 that you start with that City Council, because you're recommending that this is written that it's saying that the Regina Planning Commission is recommending that City Council deny the demolition application.
Oh, I see.
That City Council deny these Oh.
There you go, yeah.
I see now when I read it out loud.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll change it to that City Council consider these recommendations.
Sure.
We'll change the word deny to consider. I see what you're saying.
Thank you.
Just had to read it out loud.
Either works for me. In my head, it makes sense to make the deny and the direct 2 different recommendations, but I'll leave it to you however you want. Thank you. Point 1.
Mr. Adams, do you have a question? You'll need to turn your light, press your light so I know to turn it on. You need to press your button so I can turn your light on. I don't know that you want to speak.
Sorry, you're getting frustrated, Mr. Chair, I can tell.
Well, it's pretty easy. Just press your button if you want to speak. There's a queue.
That's good.
Please stay in the queue.
Sometimes you're in control of the buttons, and sometimes we are. So that's why I didn't push it, just so you're clear.
you have a question, Mr. Adams?
Yes, the point was just that it could just say, consider recommendation 1 at its meetings, because the. But it's fine, it's good. Let's move to it.
Any other questions from the team? Okay. Go ahead, clerk.
Gets them.
Let's start the vote.
Through you, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Adams.
In favor.
Commissioner Aston.
In favor.
Commissioner Gasser.
In favor.
Commissioner Kell.
In favor.
Commissioner Sontag.
In favor.
Commissioner Wilson.
In favor.
Councillor Rasevich.
In favor.
Councillor Radens.
In favor.
And you, Mr. Chair.
Opposed?
With members in present voting 8-1, this motion is carried.
I'm sorry? All righty. Delegation RPC 25-33, expanding housing choices, manufactured homes. We do have a delegation. Thank you for your patience. I'd like to call upon Randall Edge, Glen Elm Retirement Community Residents Association. Is JC with you today? Oh, JC, please come on up. I think you know the drill, but I'll say it again anyway. Please introduce yourselves for the record, the organization you're representing, if any, and what city or town you reside in. You'll have 5 minutes to address the commission, after which you will have the opportunity to respond to any questions from members of the commission. Please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My name is Randall Edge. I am the elected president of the Glen Elm Retirement Community Association, Residents Association. And I do live in the city of Regina, the Glen Elm area. Anyways, our association in January of this year was comprised of 150 families. Today, being month of November, we are now effectively reduced to 33 families. The 117 families difference have been compelled to leave the city of Regina. We are here because we believe strongly in the rights of individuals to purchase and live in manufactured homes. Fundamentally, our perspective is, what's the difference between a home that's built in a factory versus one in which 3 or 4 carpenters are swinging hammers on a lot to construct? What's the difference from our perspective? Both are built to code, both are safe, they achieve what they're supposed to do, they provide an excellent form of housing for the people that chose to live this lifestyle as homeowners, as not only homeowners, but as taxpayers. We are aware of a recommendation that started from proceedings we had before and presentations before the City of Regina Council back in March. And our matter was referred to City Administration for consideration. And we are enthusiastic in our support and encouragement of a proposal that has come forward from the planning department for the city's design plan that fundamentally accepts the idea that someone who chooses to purchase a manufacturing home, it can purchase a lot anywhere within the city, and subject to, if they're having a home built for themselves, you know, that the home is suitable and architectural designed with its surroundings. Many manufactured homes are designed to fit like a glove anywhere in our city, and that they should have the right to do that. They should be able to buy the lot and then make application for having a home that they purchase to be placed on that lot as a permanent fixture. You know, a beautiful example of this is, you know, for example, there is a lot at 45 Cecil, which is in the Rosemont area. I used to live in Rosemont. I love the area. And it has a situation where a foundation has been built on it, and it's been basically unfinished for 2 years. The foundation is in. It's been open to the elements for 2 years, minimum, and yet this would be just a spectacular opportunity for someone to purchase the lot and then take a manufactured home and install it permanently onto that foundation. It would fit into the neighborhood like a charm, and the homeowner would enjoy all the benefits of owning their own home. We, you know, think that this is an enlightened, you know, recommendation, because at this point, you know, in our 70-year history being part of the city of Regina, we're one of the few areas under zoning that are permitted to have manufactured homes. And for, you know, we're not certain what the reasons are that the property owner has decided that that needs to no longer be the case, but be that as it may. Our problem has been we can't go anywhere in the city of Regina with the existing city design plan. And why is that? It just doesn't make any sense. So we think that this recommendation is an excellent one. We support it. We encourage it. It would give us an opportunity that if we have to make a change of where we live, or anyone who chooses to buy a manufactured home, they can have it installed anywhere in the city of Regina, which is appropriate. And yes, we appreciate there has to be safe access by roads. You know, we have to take into consideration overhead wires. It should be suitable to the architectural surroundings of the neighborhood.
Randall, your time is up. Can
Okay.
I'll give you another 30 seconds if that can help you.
Okay. We like the recommendation. Please support it.
Nice, very nice. Thank you very much.
Okay, so my name is J.C. Stanhope. I live in Glenelm Mobile Home Community. I'm a member of the Glenelm Retirement Community Board. So obviously I live in Regina. I'm here to talk to you today about the zoning for the manufactured mobile homes in Regina. They've come a long way since the 70s. A long way. I mean, my home is 30 years old. I can tell you that some of them are way nicer than what I live in. My son lives in Southie, and a very large proportion of Southie is mobile homes, and you cannot tell that they are a mobile home unless you really look. He lives next door to one. I had to look at it 4 times to figure out it was a mobile home. So there has been a lot of progress made. Currently in the city of Regina, I Googled this, so it is AI generated, so we'll blame the computer for mistakes. Currently in the city of Regina, a new home starts at between $350,000 to $425,000. That's a standard 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom home. That's before permits, that's before whatever little smart features you want to add to it. Now, a mobile home of the same size, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, starts at $129,000, going up to $300,000 depending on what you want in it. That makes it an affordable option for lower income families who don't have the option to spend $1 million on a house, or even $500,000 on a house because they don't have the savings for it. Mobile homes are built to strict code standards that meet or exceed a brick and mortar house. There's a home in Estevan right now, it's been in the news. It's a $1.4 million home. It's 4 years old. They can't live in their house because the foundation leaks. There's black mold. They can punch a hole right through the walls in their basement because of the water damage, and their contractors won't take responsibility for it. A mobile home leaves factory. Every single piece that has gone into that has been tested and checked before it leaves the factory. Those homes are actually probably safer than some of the houses that people live in now because they are up to code. You can put it on your lot. You don't have to worry that your basement's going to leak, your roof's going to have a hole in it, that, you know, somebody's decided to cut a corner somewhere. And, oh my God, there's a problem. That home is as purchased, ready to move in, you're good to go. So these are affordable options for a lot of the families in our city. A lot of people are working 2-3 jobs to afford their mortgages. People are working these 2 to 3 jobs, going to the food bank because they can't afford groceries because their mortgage payments are so high. That's not an acceptable thing in our culture. We are a country that should be able to support our people in whatever they decide to do. Now, yes, manufactured homes definitely would need to follow the same requirements as any other home. They would need to, you know, fit the lot, the height requirements, all of that stuff would still be the same. But they should have the same opportunity to exist in Regina as every other kind of house. There's even modular housing that could be considered. That's pretty cool. Looks pretty good. And it's affordable. And that is the key takeaway from this. These are affordable housing options for the people who don't have the resources that some people do.
You got about 30 seconds.
I'm good.
Thank you very much, JC and Randall. I'm going to open it up to the team now to see if anyone has any questions of you two. Anybody? Mr. Sontag, please go ahead.
Thank you, through you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for the presentation. I really only have one question, just to be absolutely clear. You're using the terms manufactured and mobile interchangeably?
A manufactured home is a mobile home.
Yeah.
It's a manufactured mobile home.
Okay, that's what I wanted.
So it's either or.
That's what I wanted clarity on. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I think we're going to ask admin to clarify that too, what they mean. So we're all singing from the same hymn sheet. Mr. Adams, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you both for your presentation. It was very helpful and good information. I appreciated it. Just 2 quick questions. I had similar question, but the main one was this, that you referenced that you approve of the potential recommendation I wasn't aware of that. So is it specifically to amend zonings to allow for mobile or manufactured homes across the city? Is that what, that's essentially what you're primarily asking for?
Right
Yes.
now, and it's because of some of the history of the city. Our community was started in the 1940s, 1950s, at a time that the city wasn't that far east.
Yes.
The city grew out to it and became annexed as part of the city. And as a result of that, it has had the default unique zoning manufactured homes in this community.
I see.
And 150 homes were there. All of a sudden, though, after 70 years, there is a property owner, and only they know what their objectives are, have made a decision that people had to go.
Right.
And so we've witnessed the property lose its roads.
Yes.
Lose its streets.
I followed it
You know,
closely.
and.
Lose its trees.
Yeah.
All of the trees are
All
gone.
the trees
Yeah,
are
it was
gone.
very sad.
Okay, the property owner is the property owner, and he has the right to do that. Our view is, though, it's been a tragedy for us because we have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
We're not permitted to, by law, to go anywhere. And we feel strongly we have the right to live in the city of Regina. No, and we thank communities like Weyburn and
Estevan.
Moose Jaw and Estevan who welcomed our residents, but they made decisions to retire here in Regina.
Yes.
And for 70 years, the proposition offered through realtors to everyone in this city is that Glen Elm was a place to retire. And I made that choice.
Yeah.
I made that choice. And all we're asking is, can we be permitted to continue to live here? And the bias is just about, is a home built in a factory? Or is it with a bunch of carpenters who are swinging hammers? Like, really, that's what we're talking about. That's the only difference from our perspective.
No, it's very convincing. I appreciate you coming here today. And I did personally follow the story of the community there and was quite concerned myself as to what was happening. Although a lot of the public discourse, or at least the reporting on it, seemed to imply it was more of an infrastructure issue, and I didn't really fully appreciate that there was nowhere else to go. So thank you, I appreciate that. Just one comment, and it's maybe more for administration. I did note that, that modular has become a big deal here, and certainly even in the context of some of the large developers we've had, including Big Block, that is doing the one downtown. I mean, those are manufactured buildings and homes as well. So it's not that it wouldn't be. Like, there are other examples of modular and manufactured homes being built, so, and fitting within city ordinance. So thank you again.
Any other questions? Thank you both for your presentation. You can return to the gallery, and we're going to ask administration some questions now. Before we do have a couple of communications. Well, we have one, actually, from Stu Niebergall, RPC 25-39. Stu's the CEO of the Regina Region Home Builders Association. His opinion is in your package. Can I have a motion to receive and file that package? Mr. Gassier. And the seconder? Ms. Wilson. Thank you. I'll call the question. Any opposed? Great. Okay, we filed that one. Now let's consider RPC 25-33, expanding housing choices, manufactured homes. I will ask Lara Olenek to please introduce the report. Go ahead, Lara.
Thank you. Through you, Mr. Chair. Good evening, members of Planning Commission. In response to a City Council motion from March of 2025, this report proposes to amend the Regina zoning bylaw to allow manufactured homes in all residential zones. If approved, these amendments will expand the housing type or the types of housing available in existing and future residential areas and enhance the official community plan's goals for housing, social development, and complete communities. Administration has responded to the City Council motion by analyzing the benefits and considerations of allowing manufactured homes in all residential zones. Key benefits generally include allowing for greater housing choice as an option, allowing another type of factory-built housing, which may result in greater affordability, and allowing manufactured homes as a right rather than requiring special permission by City Council through rezoning, which is consistent with residential development regulation in the zoning bylaw. We also highlight other considerations which may reduce affordability and uptake of this housing form despite the proposed bylaw amendments. These include financing barriers and costs related to lot preparation, especially for single lots, and transportation and logistical costs and barriers when transporting a large structure into a local established neighborhood. This initiative was posted on the city's Be Heard page under Expanding Housing Options Citywide on September 25th, 2025. 111 subscribers to the existing Be Heard page also received an email outlining the proposed amendments. Through online tools on the Be Heard page, administration focused on providing information regarding initiatives that would help advance citywide housing options, including draft recommendations. Residents were invited to provide feedback on the draft recommendation that would permit manufactured homes in all residential zones. No comments were received. People or groups wishing to be involved in the decision process will be kept informed. Thank you, and we will take your questions now.
Thank you, Ms. Solinek. Do we have questions for administration? We start with definitions. Anyone want to ask that question? We define manufactured homes very clearly so everybody knows what we're talking about. Councillor Radons, question?
Okay, so in terms of the manufactured homes, I just did a Google on this, and they are quite swanky, if you will. They're beautiful. And I guess my question would be, when we're talking about fabricated homes, is there any areas in the city currently where there is fabricated homes or modular homes in Regina?
Through you, the chair, and yeah, we were prepared for the terminology conversation. So modular homes are just a type of building a home, and they're regulated under the building code. And so we have quite a few areas where we would have a modular apartment or a modular structure for homes. Yes, we allow that and permit that under our current structure. What is different is this is a manufactured home, and we do differ it from a mobile home. Manufactured homes built to a different standard and to a different code than what we would understand a mobile home to be, which would be more of an RV or something that's more movable. A manufactured home would still be required to have a foundation and constructed to meet national and provincial standards.
Okay, so when I think about RTMs, so that ready-to-move homes and modular homes, okay, and then you're talking trailer, and trailers are mobile, right? So they can be moved. Can you just clarify? Because there's quite a few terms, and so I'm sorry because I want to get clear about that.
Thank you. And through the chair. So you can have a building that is considered a residence now under the building code, and those can be moved in with the modular format right now. And then we have what we're talking about today, which is manufactured home, and they're certified under Canadian standards, and they have a CSA number. And then what we would consider mobile homes, which would be more of like a RV or recreational vehicle with wheels. And so those are how we would differentiate between the three.
So then we're saying that all three types of models were going to
Today,
no.
we're talking about manufactured homes. We already allow modular, and we're not considering mobile homes.
Okay, so that's like homes in trailer parks that have been zoned? Is that what we're talking about? That's what I'm trying to differentiate here, and so I just need.
Yeah. Yeah, and I appreciate the confusion because mobile homes are sometimes called that, and they really are manufactured homes. And then there's also an age limit that we've discovered in our research and tried to articulate in the report as well. I'll just maybe see if Mr. Mario has a different way of describing it so that
I'm still confused.
maybe if you hear it from a different person.
Mr. Mario, go ahead.
I'll give it a try, yeah. The key defining feature of a manufactured home, I would say, from a layman's perspective, is that it has a steel frame or chassis on the base. And that means that you can pick it up, transport it down the highway, plunk it on a foundation, but potentially move it to a new location. But in the vast majority of the time, that doesn't happen. Whereas a modular home is typically transported in chunks and then assembled on site. So we have some apartments that are actually built to that standard. What we're talking about here today is a manufactured home. It's built with a steel frame on the base, and then it's put onto a site.
Okay, so then that doesn't include trailer homes?
There is a similarity, but these are built for year-round occupancy. Whereas a trailer is more of a recreation vehicle that is intended for
So that's not what
season
we're
use.
talking about today?
We are talking about
The other two?
the permanent,
Got
yes, year-round homes, correct.
It's solid now?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Aston, please go ahead.
Thank you. Through the chair, I believe there's only two manufactured home zoned areas in the city right now. Could administration tell me if that's correct, through the chair?
Through the chair, that's correct. One is the Glen Elm Park that the delegations referred to, and the second one is a small area in the north end within Argyle Park. And that's a little bit different. Those are freehold lots. So that's the difference between the two.
Yeah, thank you for that. The first home that I bought in Regina was quite close to the one in Argyle Park, so that was the one I was aware of more than anything. So my understanding is that zoning designation has been maybe challenging to get in the past. Could administration tell us when the last time a property was zoned by that zoning?
Through the chair, we have never been asked to rezone property to accommodate this particular zone. So there's been no ask and there's been no response by the administration. So this would just kind of open things up to allow for this type of housing to sort of naturally occur if there are opportunities. So that would be the key difference here. City Council would not need to make a specific decision to zone a particular lot or parcel for manufactured homes. They could just be permitted as of right like any other home.
I guess and thank you for that answer, but through the chair, my question was simply like, when was the last time any land was rezoned to home zone in Regina?
My apologies. I believe it would have been in the mid-70s with Argyle Park. Yeah.
Okay. No, I appreciate that. So that's why I'm just kind of probing, are we solving the right question? Like, was it just been hard to rezone to that, or has there been some detriments to doing it? Or like, because there is attributes that you went through in the report of like the size of them and the locations to move them in and things. They don't necessarily fit everywhere. So I'm just probing that, was it just hard to rezone, and was that the problem, or are we solving the right one? So thanks, through the chair. That's my final question.
Through the chair, it's difficult to see what's kind of behind that. There could be market factors, logistical factors, just lack of interest by the development community, competing other forms of housing. It's difficult to know. Like I said, we have not been approached by a developer to entertain this before, so it's difficult for me to answer the question.
Thank you, John. Mr. Sontag?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you, I'm assuming there is no difference, but I just want to be certain. Are there any additional costs for the city to deal with manufactured home vis-a-vis permitting, inspections? I don't know, I guess you'd be dealing with the crowns on moving and stuff like that for power lines and so forth, but any additional costs that don't exist for traditional?
Through the chair, most of the costs are borne by the resident. There would be no additional inspection fees, or the cost of moving any home onto the site would be those of the applicants or the resident. Any foundation work or site work would be those of the resident. We have noted some implications in the report that we would see for the resident and potentially for the city, potentially related to assessed value and those types of things.
Okay. Thank you.
So are there any other municipalities that have approved these types of fabricated homes?
Through the chair, we've done some jurisdictional reviews. Of course, there's communities within Saskatchewan. We've done a review of cities of similar size, and noted in the report is Yellowknife. But there are real logistical barriers to introducing manufactured homes, or because of the size and the length of them. And I think that's been really the barrier for introducing them into more of an urban style setting, weaving through the roads and the local network and moving these things. And really our lot size isn't conducive to manufactured homes as well. So we've noted those as considerations and barriers. And I think that's why you'll see in most urban type settings that they just aren't prevalent. But yeah, Yellowknife is kind of a comparable city, but smaller communities where the roads may be wider, the lots may be different configurations. Yeah, you certainly see them.
Yeah. Okay. So most of these, so that I mean, Google is a great tool, but I don't see a lot of. There's no basements, right, in most of these. So it's just basically they drive them in and they put them on the property. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I think that's it for me. Thank you.
Councillor Rastrovich, we can't hear you. Are you speaking?
Oh, there you go. Y'all, I couldn't hear nothing, it was blocked out. But anyways, through the chair. For something like this, I mean, I've thought about this when Glen Elm was going through their situation. Like, do we not have some greenfield areas or new areas or city-owned, maybe some city-owned areas where we can rezone those spots and allow for, manufactured homes or modular homes? Have we not looked at that scenario?
Through the chair, Mr. Jedlick's here to respond to city-owned land, but in general, the report does.
In general, just, put some zoning in place for that type of building.
Yeah, through the chair, the option has been there for greenfield developers to propose, the zoning that would allow for manufactured homes in the past, and they've chosen not to. Of course, we can't require certain zonings in greenfield areas. We work with the development community to build out their community that meets our policy objectives and meets their objectives as the developer. And really, we've seen no request to have new manufactured homes within our greenfield neighborhoods. But I might pass it to Mr. Jedlick for what he considers when doing land development for the city.
Go ahead, Mr. Jedlick.
Through the chair, so it's certainly not something that I would say greenfield land developers are opposed to. And I think, as the delegation explained, we don't necessarily see a difference in the quality of the homes, whether they're manufactured off-site or on-site. And so it does open up an opportunity for, a different method of construction to permit homes. I think where greenfield land developers are most concerned is whether or not the homes being built in an area add value to the neighborhood and remain consistent with the exterior design standards set forth in that neighborhood. But I would say most developers are always looking for different price points at which to sell homes, because that allows them to move through product more quickly. And so this potentially does open up an opportunity in greenfield neighborhoods as well as in infill neighborhoods where you can get this type of product in, for developers.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I look at the Housing Accelerator Fund situation, and I've got places in my ward where because that was passed and because the zoning was changed, it's allowing, a fourplex right in the middle of a residential area that doesn't, in a lot of residence areas, in their opinion, doesn't fit, because they've chose to live a certain lifestyle, just as the delegates mentioned. They chose to live a certain lifestyle, and now it's being forced upon them. So I think sometimes we have to be careful, because, hey, I'm not against a manufactured home whatsoever. But we also, I personally have to respect, some of the decisions that residents have made and how they want to live as well. But I think, as the city grows, I think sometimes maybe we need to dedicate certain areas for certain types of homes and certain types of lifestyles as well, for sure. I totally agree with that. And I think by passing a blanket zoning, I just feel it's handing up too much control. I think it's just giving up too much, similar to the Housing Accelerator Fund, giving up too much control. And I think that, I think these things can be looked at, maybe it's not just a one-off. If there's empty lots in the city and someone wants to put a manufactured home there, I'm more than willing to look at that and go, you know what, and then certain areas of the city, people want to have it there, we do it. I have nothing against that. But I guess my other question is, I read in the report, proposed change to zoning does provide the opportunity to establish new home parks. And I guess I was wondering, what does that mean? What is that, new home parks? What does that mean?
Through the chair, what that means is that would be permitted like any other multifamily residential development that would be approved as a permitted use today. We allow for townhouse projects or apartment projects to be approved as a permitted use through changes to the zoning. Currently, right now, manufactured homes are only allowed in the RMH zone. So that means if we wanted, or if there was a proposal to establish one of these new manufactured home parks, it would need to go through city council. So it's creating a bit of an imbalance there between what we would otherwise permit for any other type of housing product, whereas currently we would require city council's approval to rezone land to accommodate a new home park. So this amendment, if passed, would allow for manufactured home parks or individual manufactured homes to be placed on any parcel as a permitted use. That's what that means.
Well, I don't think it should be. See, I'll just leave it at that. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Rashevich. If I could just ask something on Dan's behalf, because we spoke a little bit about this. Are there some standards that we should be thinking of beyond just green lighting this everywhere? Do other communities have a certain type of standard other than just building code?
Through the chair, we did put some thought into that. So they are, the structure of the buildings are regulated through the CSA standards, so we're comfortable with that. So it really comes down to how do we ensure that they're appropriately transported to the site, and how do we ensure that they're properly serviced. So we can ensure that they are properly serviced. That's normal for any residential lot. And we also verified that we do have a process to verify that they can safely navigate through our city, and that similar to sort of any oversized load, that accommodations are made, and that it can actually, our infrastructure can actually allow for the transportation of these units to site. So beyond that, there's really nothing else that needs to be considered. And sure, yeah. Yeah, so further to that, we are allowing them, or potentially allowing them with any zone. They will need to comply with the typical setbacks and development standards of any development. So they will need to follow the same standards of any other building that's built within a zone. So would that mean that they would look similar to other homes in the neighborhood, or they would have to? Through the chair, there are no architectural standards within zoning code, with one exception. That's Canterbury Park. So no, they won't have to look a certain way. What I would say though is we're confident that the new manufactured homes are built to an aesthetic appeal. We also note that it is possible, very possible, and in fact we've encountered some recently, for a traditionally built home with hammer nails and guys swinging hammers, as the delegate said, to be really look the same as a manufactured home. So it's not the intent of zoning really to regulate the aesthetics of a building, with some exceptions, but typically in a residential area, zoning doesn't really get into that detail. Understood. I was asking that on behalf of Councillor Rashevich. Councillor Rashevich, your hand is still up. We're going to someone else first. Okay. And then I'll be right back to you. Sure. Mr. Adams, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Just one really brief matter of clarity. Would you consider a manufactured home a single unit? And if so, does that mean you could put more than one on one lot? And could they be stacked?
Through the chair, yes, they are single units. It could be possible to put more than one on a lot, although the lot would need to be big enough. That when we get more than one on a lot, it would really start to be more of a like a planned community, that sort of thing. It wouldn't be possible to stack a manufactured home. That's more of a modular construction type of idea, where we do build apartments out of modular. But manufactured homes, to my knowledge, are not stacked. Councillor Rashevich, please go ahead.
Sure. I also read in the report we talked about tiny homes, and I guess does that fit into manufactured homes, or?
Yeah, through the chair, we did look into that. It could be possible that a manufactured home could be a tiny home. There could be a company out there that just builds really small manufactured homes, and they could fit into someone's idea of what a tiny home is. So that could be possible. It is possible that we could see these occur in someone's backyard. We allow for garden suites or backyard suites, so if that option is available, if it's logistically possible, then yeah, it could be possible.
Would that be something that would be, I think we've talked about this just amongst other counts, for example, we got Heritage North Central, we have lots of empty lots there, and so would it be possible for something like a tiny homes to be built on, I guess, in those areas, would we permit that, I guess?
Through the chair, yeah, it could be possible, yeah. We would consider a group of tiny homes to be a planned group, and we do have standards to allow for those, more than one building on a site, so that is possible. Just to clarify, I guess there are different types of tiny homes. Some of them could be traditionally built in a sort of stacked format or whatever it is. If there is a tiny home that is also a manufactured home, it would need to be built to factory standards. So that's just one distinction I wanted to make.
Yeah. I am not against manufactured homes. I guess my feeling is that it just needs to be, it can't just be anywhere and everywhere, similar to the Housing Accelerator Fund, where the zoning change and any type of building could end up in any neighborhood and residents have no input. So, but I am for sure, looking at, certain locations and areas and, coming to, I don't know if it would come to council, I don't know if it would come to the planning commission and ask me, hey, a manufactured home would like to be, or a few manufactured homes would like to be in this locality, and, we'll prove something like that. So I have no issues with that. So anyways, thank you.
Just to clarify before I move to the next speaker, we won't have that judgment. You approve this today, and if they meet the standard, they can go anywhere. Is that correct?
Through you, Mr. Chair, good question, and allows us to clarify. What's being proposed here is permitted use, and so they would come in and administration would deal with the application. What I heard Councillor Rashevich suggest is that they come in as a discretionary use or rezoning. And to do that, that is possible. When we did our research and our review, we didn't understand what criteria we would use, in what neighborhoods would it be allowed, and in what neighborhoods it wouldn't be allowed. And really, our efforts are to incorporate housing options and choice within all neighborhoods in Regina, ensuring that there's a complete continuum of housing choice within neighborhoods. And to try to distinguish between neighborhoods, it becomes really hard. Understanding what criteria that would be based on is something that we would have to review. I will remind the commission that we were directed by City Council to permit manufactured homes citywide. And so that is the recommendation that we're bringing forward to commission and potentially council based on that motion and direction from council.
Thank you for that clarification. Sorry to keep you waiting, Ms. Kell. Please go ahead.
Through the chair, I just have a comment and a question. I think making them a discretionary use might not fit with the idea of making cost-effective homes, because any discretionary use permit could be $2,500 to $3,000 on top of everything else, so it kind of defeats what we're trying to do here. I've been trying to walk through the process in my head, and you talked a bit about the standards. So if someone wants to put, they've bought a lot somewhere in the middle of Regina and they want to put a modular home, and then is it through the permit application that you guys would figure out that they could actually get the home from where it's been manufactured to the lot? In my mind, I see someone getting it halfway there and then all of a sudden can't actually get their house to the lot that they have now purchased both of these things, and they are left in a pickle.
Who wants to take that? That's a great question.
It is a great question. We've had experience with modular and not manufactured. obviously because we don't have that experience of integrating them into community. For the modular type buildings, we have had to understand what route they're going to take. Often they need a police escort and have to move the lines and different things. So there are logistical challenges to where the homes can be placed, and that's limited the options for modular construction. And I would assume that would, in what we've indicated in the report, limit options for manufactured homes as well.
That's fair, because then you'd probably have to let like the block know as well, because you'd be shutting down the street to get this house to a lot, and that would affect like every other homeowner on either side of trying to get in and out of it.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions, team? Want to summarize this? Can't legislate taste, right? If we pass this, it's blanket across the city. The only chance to deny it would be at the permitting stage if something didn't seem right, but that could be corrected by the homeowner. And maybe it might be too expensive with all the setup, and you might have to, Randall, have carpenters show up and bang up some walls, which on a small home you can do in one day. So I think what we're doing here is just providing an option, and I think when Councillor Flores brought this to council, that's what she was looking to do, is just provide an option. I don't think we're going to have a cavalcade of people coming through the city with towing big houses to put them on lots. It'll be interesting to see how it goes, and if it goes the wrong way, we can correct. If it goes the right way, good on us. That's kind of how I see it. Does anyone else see it differently? Yeah.
Yeah, I think administration made this point. There's still the invisible hand of the market too, right?
Invisible what, sorry?
The invisible hand, I'm sorry, I'm making a bit of a joke of Adam Smith. You're not going to drop a manufactured home on a $400,000 lot, right?
No.
So I think certain neighborhoods will probably be exempted just by cost.
Yeah. Shall we go to the vote? Oh, we need a mover? Did we forget to do that? Wow, I'm going to be fired pretty soon. Can I have someone move the recommendation from administration? Mr. Gassier, seconded by Ms. Wilson. Are you sure we didn't move it? Oh, okay. Mr. Gassier, would you like to open and close debate all at once?
I appreciate you both taking the time to speak. Thanks for administration, and I thought you did a fine job. Good questions all around. I agree that we have to keep an eye on some of the details that Commissioner Kale brought up, but I also appreciate the administration. You have a pretty good track record of doing just that. So if things need to change, I trust that we'll get there. I will be supporting this, and I close debate. Thank you.
Clerk, please start the vote.
Through you, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Adams?
In favor?
Commissioner Aston?
In favor?
Commissioner Gasher?
In favor.
Commissioner Kell?
In favor.
Commissioner Sontag?
In favor.
Commissioner Wilson?
In favor.
Councillor Rasevich?
Against?
Councillor Radens?
In favor.
And Mr. Chair?
In favor.
With a vote of 9-1, this motion is carried.
Thank you. Thank you to the delegation, and thank you to administration for your help on that one. we have one more item to consider, which is RPC 25-34, parcel code class change at 5901 9th Avenue North and 190 Pinkey Road. I don't think Tyson is here. You'll be doing that on his behalf? Okay. I'm getting ahead of myself? No. That's right. Mr. Mario, please introduce the report.
Thank you, through the chair. What is before you is a report recommending that City Council make a legal change to land that is associated with the public infrastructure that's required for the Coopertown lift station. This is required because City Council's legislation requires City Council's approval to change the legal classification of land from generic parcel to a dedicated municipal utility parcel to accommodate the future city infrastructure. So after this is presumably approved by City Council, the land will be registered at land titles and then dedicated to the city, and then that change will be necessary before construction of the infrastructure can commence. So this is essentially what we're asking for, is a legal change to the property classification.
Can I have someone move the recommendation, please? Thank you. Mr. Sontag. Seconder, Mr. Adams. Mr. Sontag, do you wish to speak on the report? Good, huh? Okay. Any questions from the team? Is anyone here against lift stations? I should hope not. All right, because we need them badly. Would you like to close debate, Mr. Sontag? Thank you. I'll ask the clerk to start the vote.
Through you, Mr. Chair. Commissioner Adams.
In favor?
Commissioner Aston.
In favor.
Commissioner Gasser.
In favor.
Commissioner Kell.
In favor.
Commissioner Sontag.
In favor.
Commissioner Wilson.
In favor.
Councillor Rasevich.
In favor.
Councillor Radden.
In favor.
And you, Mr. Chair?
In favor.
With all members voting in favor, present voting in favor, this motion is carried.
Fantastic. Guess what's next? May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Ms. Wilson?
Yep.
In favor.
Any opposed?
In favor.
Okay, carried. The meeting is adjourned.